In 2022, the United States Department of Defense created a permanent office to investigate phenomena that cross between air, sea, and space. Not a committee, not a study group, a permanent office. Because whatever they were looking at wasn't going away. This video covers 7 of the cases that made that office necessary. All documented, none explained. Oh! Number 1. In 2019, the USS Omaha, a United States Navy combat ship operating off the coast of San Diego, tracked an unidentified spherical object on its instruments. The object was moving. It descended toward the Pacific Ocean. Ho! It entered the water at speed. There was no splash, no wake, no debris field. No debris field! No disturbance on the surface at any point where the object went in. Navy divers were deployed to search the area. Oh! They found nothing. No wreckage. No debris. No trace that anything had entered the water at all. The footage was not classified. It was not leaked by a whistleblower. The Pentagon reviewed it, authenticated it, and released it. That release was not an accident. Organizations that classify information do not accidentally release footage of objects entering the ocean without a trace. The official position on what the object was, unknown. The official position on where it went, unknown. The footage is still available. The object is still unidentified. The ocean kept whatever went into it. Here's what makes this harder to explain than it looks. What? Moving between air and water at speed is not a trivial engineering problem. Water is 800 times denser than air. Every object that enters water at velocity decelerates violently. That deceleration is what creates a splash, a wake, a surface disturbance. The faster the entry, the larger the disturbance. An object that enters water at the speed shown in the USS Omaha footage with no visible surface disturbance of any kind is not behaving according to known physics, not a known military technology, not a classified drone program, known physics. That is what the footage shows. Number 2. Since 1991, NOAA's hydrophone arrays positioned across the Pacific Ocean have been recording the same sound. Not occasionally, but continuously. Whoa! Every year, without interruption, for 33 years. The sound consists of narrow-band tones that sweep upward, each lasting several seconds. It is loud enough to be detected across the entire Pacific Basin, thousands of miles of open ocean, picking up the same signal from the same fixed location, year after year. NOAA has a name for it, the upsweep. The source has been roughly located to a fixed point in the south-central Pacific, between New Zealand and South America. Here is what has never been explained. The upsweep is seasonal. It peaks every spring and every autumn, then recedes. This has happened every year since detection began, consistently, predictably, on schedule. Volcanoes do not follow spring and autumn schedules. Geological processes do not operate on seasonal cycles tied to the calendar. The proposed explanation, underwater volcanic activity, cannot account for the seasonality. That is not a fringe objection. That is the unresolved problem sitting in the middle of the official data. Whatever is producing the upsweep follows a cycle. 33 years of the same cycle. Whatever it is still there. Number 3. In 2011, a salvage diving team working in the Baltic Sea between Sweden and Finland made a discovery their sonar equipment was not designed to find. At a depth of 83 meters, the sonar returned an image of a circular object approximately 60 meters in diameter. Distinct raised edge, elevated center, what the team described as a staircase-like formation leading to a dark opening at the top. When the team returned to investigate at close range, every electronic device on the vessel stopped functioning. Satellite phones, underwater cameras, dive computers. All of them. The moment the vessel moved beyond 200 meters from the object, the equipment resumed normal operation. This was not a single incident. It happened on multiple separate dives, documented by multiple separate teams. The official scientific response was glacial deposit, a natural formation from the last ice age, shaped by geological processes over millennia. That explanation accounts for the shape. It does not account for the electronics. Those are 2 separate phenomena requiring 2 separate explanations. The second explanation has never been published. The object is still on the floor of the Baltic Sea. The electromagnetic anomaly has never been addressed in peer-reviewed literature. A glacial deposit that disables satellite phones within 200 meters is not a glacial deposit. Number 4. Naval records from the United States, the United Kingdom, and the former Soviet Union. Documents that have been partially declassified describe objects moving through the ocean at speeds between 150 and 200 knots submerged. The fastest submarine ever built by any nation travels at 45 knots. These objects move at more than 4 times that speed through water, without a visible wake, without a heat signature, without a known propulsion system. In 2024, a sitting member of the United States Congress described a documented naval case involving an object the size of a football field moving at hundreds of miles per hour underwater. He was not speculating. He was describing a case briefed to him by a serving admiral. The objects have also demonstrated what analysts call trans-medium capability, moving between air and water without decelerating. The same physical impossibility shown in the USS Omaha footage, documented independently across multiple naval forces, across multiple decades, across multiple oceans. The reports are filed. The cases are documented. Oh, the physics remains unexplained. Number 5. Off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan, at a depth of 25 meters, there is a structure on the ocean floor that geologists cannot agree on. Flat surfaces, right angles, terraced platforms descending in uniform steps. What appears to be a road. The structure was last above water between 8,000 and 10,000 years ago, based on geological dating of the surrounding seafloor. 8,000 years ago, Egypt did not exist. Writing had not been invented. Every civilization you have studied in school was still thousands of years in the future. The organizational and engineering capacity required to construct something like this, according to the accepted academic timeline, did not yet exist. Peer-reviewed geological literature contains genuine, unresolved disagreement on whether the structure is natural or constructed. That is not fringe science. That is the current state of the academic record. Natural sandstone formations do not typically produce right angles. They do not produce parallel surfaces or uniform steps. The disagreement is documented. The structure is real. The explanation is not. If it was constructed, something built it before humanity, as we define it, existed. Number 6. Gaudy! Segmans. Since 1989, a single acoustic signal has been moving through the world's oceans. It travels at 52 hertz. Blue whales, the largest animals on Earth, communicate between 10 and 40 hertz. Fin whales at 20 hertz. Every known whale species communicates at frequencies other whales of the same species can hear and respond to. This signal sits at 52 hertz. No known species communicates at that frequency. No known species responds to it. For 35 years, this signal has followed migration patterns through the ocean. It moves. It changes direction. It behaves like something alive, something navigating, not drifting. And for 35 years, nothing has responded to it. Nothing has approached it. Nothing in the ocean has acknowledged it. Duh! It is calling out in a frequency that nothing alive will answer. It is not stopped. It is moving right now. Number 7. The office created to investigate phenomena like the 6 cases above has been running since 2022. Permanent budget. Permanent staff. Mandate explicitly includes underwater phenomena. Between May 2023 and June 2024, they received 757 reports. 21 cases are under active investigation. Here is what active investigation, without published conclusions, means. It does not mean the cases are unimportant. Organizations do not allocate permanent budgets to unimportant problems. It does not mean there is no evidence. 21 cases were selected because they contain sufficient data. It means that whatever is in those 21 files is complicated enough or significant enough that the conclusion has not been cleared for release. Denial would be an answer. What we have instead is a permanent office, a 700-case database, and silence. That silence is the 7th thing. Subscribe. Every video on this channel goes somewhere. The official record stops. So here is what the documented record shows. An object entered the Pacific Ocean on camera, released by the Pentagon, with no splash and no wake, and the Navy found nothing where it went. A fixed location in the South Central Pacific has been producing a seasonal acoustic signal for 33 years. That volcanic theory cannot explain. An object on the floor of the Baltic Sea disables every electronic device within 200 meters, and no published explanation addresses the electromagnetic anomaly. Naval forces across 3 countries have documented objects moving at 4 times the speed of the fastest submarine, transitioning between air and water without decelerating. A structure on the ocean floor predates every known human civilization, and peer-reviewed geology cannot agree on what built it. A signal at 52 Hz has been moving through the ocean for 35 years, alive in its behavior, answered by nothing. And the permanent government office created to explain all of it has 21 active cases and no published conclusions. 7 documented phenomena. 7 official silences. 21 cases. Active investigation. No conclusions. Which one do you think they already know the answer to? Tell me in the comments. The ocean is not hiding its secrets. It is keeping ours.